Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to News and Views on Salam Media. Our first guest, as I have indicated, is Thabo Maisela, Secretary of the Soweto Muslim Shura, and he's here to talk to us about a report that we came across over the weekend, which suggested that a volatile situation has been reported at the Soweto Mosque Masjid located in the Lamini area. Now, I had a look at the clip as well, and I must say it was quite threatening. So, what on earth is going on? What is the situation? Who are the people that have been prevented from entering the grounds of the masjid, and what exactly is going on there? Thabo Maisela, Secretary of the Soweto Muslim Shura, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the program.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Shukran for having us on the program.
So, you being the Secretary of the Soweto Muslim Shura, would that suggest that you are also part of this masjid in, let us see, where is it?
In Lamini, in Soweto.
Lamini. What is your role as far as this masjid is concerned?
Look, as the Soweto Muslim Shura, we were a body created by the late Imam Ibrahim, who wanted the next generation of leaders to emerge within Soweto, to be able to work with everyone within Soweto so that we can unify the Ummah and try and build ourselves, as it were, as a community, inshallah.
I mean, talk to us about the events that led up to that clip, which seems to be going viral. What was very frightening for me as well, as I viewed the clip, I saw people, or at least I saw one person in the crowd that had a gun in his holster. And I think there were threats being made that they would be shooting if the situation wouldn't be resolved. So, what exactly happened? How did it start? And as you and I speak now this morning, I hope you're going to tell me, inshallah, that the situation has been resolved.
No, we had a very, very fruitful and good meeting at Lamini. There have been challenges within the masjid, and a community meeting was called to try and discuss on the possible solutions, together with a potential sponsor who's going to fund certain projects within the area there. But some overzealous person thought it best to bring security armed to the teeth with guns to make sure that they secure the masjid for the purpose of this meeting. We were, however, able to resolve that issue, and I must add, with the intervention of SABS, and the meeting did indeed take place within the masjid, and yeah, we had a very fruitful meeting. We've come up with a roadmap in terms of how we are going to ultimately resolve the issues within that mosque. Part of the roadmap, I must indicate, is that we need to bring in other people with different skills who are going to be able to assist us to better run the masjid. The problem we've had is that you've had a committee that has been there for a very long time. Look, because the masjid is still standing, Salah is still being made 5 times a day, we've got an imam and all, they've done relatively well. But we think we can take this program now to the next level, where we can even start introducing hifz classes and other programs within that masjid. So the solutions we're coming up with now are more sustainable and durable solutions, so that we avoid these problems going forward. Shukran.
Okay, let me just read this message to you. I've got a screenshot of the printed message, and then I'd like you to elaborate. It says, just in volatile situation reported at Soweto Mosque located in the Dlamini area. We are told heavily armed guards and security acting on behalf of new unknown committee Soweto Muslim Association are preventing Muslim community members from accessing the mosque premises due to a control issue. So, who are these supposedly unknown committee Soweto Muslim Association members?
No, it's a bit of an exaggeration to say that they are unknown. The issue there is in terms of the Soweto Muslim Association, who are the people who own the title deed of this mosque. There's a group that decided to arrange with a potential funder to sponsor certain project within the masjid. Now, it's not to say they are unknown. They are indeed known because they are founders of that mosque there. However, the issue was there was false information peddled that the masjid has been sold because consultations had not taken place with the community. And the purpose of the meeting was to begin to engage the community. And the community did come in numbers. And like I said, this overzealous person decided to arrange security for the meeting. But we were able to resolve those issues, and the meeting did indeed take place, and we were able to resolve a number of issues in that meeting.
Tabit, why do you suppose that there was this story circulating that the masjid is going to be sold? Is it because perhaps there wasn't a big enough congregation attending regular salah, or is there something else, some other ulterior motive that was put out in the community to get that narrative out?
When we suspected there could have been some underhanded motives in terms of peddling this misinformation. But the fact of the matter is that even the people who had intended to do good at the masjid, one of the weakness was around issues of consultations. So things were done harshly without necessarily consulting. And I want to give them the benefit of the doubt to say the reason they organized this meeting was to remedy that situation where they had not sufficiently consulted the community, and they were intending to do just that at this meeting. And that's why we came to support, because we all of us want to see progress within our community. And that's why we came to the meeting. But what was offensive, it felt like we were at Masjid Al Aqsa, where you want to go in as a Muslim, and a person who hardly makes instinger with a gun is trying to search you. And we found that very, very offensive. And we made it clear that the meeting is not going to go ahead up until these people leave. So that issue ultimately was resolved, and we were able to have a very successful meeting.
How long has this masjid in Lamini been in operation?
It was built in the mid 80s, so it's the first mosque in Soweto. For us, it's our markas, it's our head office. There are other masajids that have come up, alhamdulillah, but this one, because of its history and everything else, it's a masjid that we hold very dear to our hearts, and that's why we had so much keen interest, and that's why there was so much overwhelming attendance at the meeting because of how we value this masjid in Soweto, inshallah.
Now, this masjid is based in Lamini in Soweto. Does that suggest that the area of Lamini is comprised of a lot of Muslims?
Alhamdulillah, as much as Islam is the fastest growing religion in the whole world, even in Soweto, we now are having a whole lot of Muslims, people reverting to Islam. We now have other masajids in Soweto, like in Orlando, there's two other masajids. In Rockville, we now are creating a center in Naledi. We're looking at creating another center in Meadowlands. So, Alhamdulillah, Islam is growing with leaps and bounds. And even if you could see the attendance yesterday, the mosque was filled to capacity to show the interest in this issue, and filled by Muslims, by the way, not just community members, just all Muslims who were in that meeting yesterday there. So, Alhamdulillah, Islam is growing and it's becoming very strong in Soweto. Hence, our need to ensure that we organize our affairs. And Alhamdulillah, Allah has blessed us with leadership that is steering us in the right direction. Alhamdulillah.
Subhanallah. Please stand by. We're going for our first ad break. When we come back, we're going to talk more on the issue around the growing number of Muslims in Soweto, inshallah.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media, your humanitarian broadcaster.
Conveniently located along the banks of the Crocodile River bordering the Kruger National Park, as a guest at Buckler's Africa Lodge, one can enjoy an amazing sunrise or sunset on our spacious deck area while you catch a glimpse of some wildlife sightings along the Crocodile River. The sounds of the African savannah will greet you whilst you enjoy your morning coffee. Buckler's Africa Lodge by Tingana Collection. Buckler's Africa Lodge is ideally situated only 6 kilometers from the Crocodile Bridge Gate in the Kruger National Park. Catering for all travelers with variety, we have 4 types of the finest rooms: superior rooms, deluxe suites, and 2-bedroomed family units. Each room is equipped with the finest amenities to make your stay unforgettable. Guests can choose between the self-catering option or book their accommodation with breakfast and dinner included. Buckler's Africa Lodge is your ideal location for the ultimate Kruger getaway experience. We specialize in exhilarating and educational game drives in Kruger, tailor-made to suit your family. Inquire about our various accommodation offerings and other activities. Visit www.tingana.co.za for more information. Buckler's Africa Lodge by Tingana Collection. Experience the pulse of Africa with us.
There's no smell that takes me back to the comfort of my childhood than the smell of black seed oil being applied by my nanny. Now I'm using Tib black seed in my own home to soothe sniffles and coughs, to help with digestion and immunity, and of course, as part of my beauty routine. After all these years, I've come to appreciate the wisdom in finding comfort and shifa in trusted treatments like Tib black seed. You can find Tib black seed at all leading pharmacies or find out more at blackseed.co.za.
Sponsor an orphan and you'll help support a vulnerable child to have the education they've always dreamed of, so they can build a brighter future. You'll be feeding a hungry stomach and a hungry mind with knowledge that will last them a lifetime. That's the power of an education. Sponsor an orphan now with Islamic Relief.
When the perfect blend of stylish decor, exquisite halal cuisine, and warm hospitality come together, it could only mean Al Bayt Lodge, your true home away from home. Al Bayt is the ideal heaven for families, business people, and tourists with its 4-star family rooms and other luxurious facilities. Conveniently situated close to Port Elizabeth Airport, the beach, and other amenities, your stay will be truly unforgettable, as you'll be taking home lasting memories of the warm hospitality, the serenity and tranquility that Al Bayt has to offer. For reservations, call 041 583 6415 or visit www.albaytlodge.co.za.
Ah, the kitchen, the heart of the home, where memories are made and celebrated. Our go-to place for those freshly stacked pancakes early in the morning or for the late-night snack munchies. We are in there together, cooking, eating, and celebrating life together. Let's keep the kitchen a place that is shared by everyone, where we build stronger bonds and grow together. Sunfoil, now we cooking. Visit nowwecooking.co.za for recipes that everyone can help make.
Tune into Salam Media via audio stream.
I've been asked by some South Africans why I continue to speak out about Palestine and about the suffering of the people of Palestine. I also feel that I have a responsibility as a human being that believes in international solidarity, even during this difficult personal time in my life, to speak out clearly and unequivocally about the suffering of the people of Palestine and what is being done to the people of Palestine by the apartheid, racist, genocidal Israel. We cannot do anything else but speak out. And whatever our circumstances are, even under these difficult circumstances in my personal life, I feel I have an absolute responsibility to continue to speak out against the suffering, the death, the mayhem that apartheid Israel is inflicting on the people of Palestine.
Carney House, who's the president of the African Radical
Types, moving boundaries, joining hands. Salam Media. Humanity sets the agenda.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome back. It is exactly 8:23 a.m. I'm talking with our dear brother Thabo Maisela. He's the secretary of the Soweto Muslim Shura, and we are obviously looking at that story, which was reported as being a volatile situation at the Soweto mosque located in Lamini. Alhamdulillah, he tells me that everything has been amicably resolved. Welcome back. Brother Tabit. You indicated that the reason for the original meeting was to, in fact, map a way forward regarding future projects. And there were rumors that the mosque might be sold and shut down. Was that due to the fact that there was funding problems, perhaps?
It's a combination of problems. Yes, we have been struggling with certain aspects in terms of the maintenance and management of the masjid due to lack of funds. And some of our elders decided to get someone on board who would then be able to assist us with those issues. But some of the people who were currently there could have felt threatened about this thing because they did not have sufficient information in terms of what was going on. And in no time, rumors were spreading that the masjid has been sold.
And you also then indicated, Alhamdulillah, that it was a very fruitful meeting. You now have a way forward. You've mapped a way forward regarding the different projects. Can you share some of that information with us?
In terms of the roadmap that we are putting together, the first thing that we're going to do is in terms of the old SMA members and those that were currently running the SMA and the masjid, we're going to have a meeting with them as the leadership in terms of Soweto Muslim Shura. We're going to have a meeting with them to try and resolve whatever differences that might be there amongst them. That's the first part. The second part is the potential funder. We also want to engage with him to get to know what are his ideas, what's his thinking, and so that we can then be able to also tell him how we work as the community in Soweto and how we would like him to assist us, because the community was very clear in terms of those issues. Part of the rumors we were hearing was that he's now the chairperson of SMA. The SMA could have also now changed their company registration documents to include him in there and what have you. We believe that if there are funders who want to fund us, they must fund us with no strings attached and not want to take over the running of our massages or any programs in Soweto. The leaders are there to provide leadership. Whoever wants to assist must assist us on our terms.
Absolutely. Okay. In terms of, you mentioned a number of projects that needs to start rolling out. What is the plan going forward to grow the awareness of Islam in the area? Because by so doing, creating a lot of dawah, you are going to increase the numbers coming to the different masajids throughout Soweto.
Inshallah. In terms of qualitative growth, there is significant growth. Like I said, we're now having, just a few months ago, a brand new mosque was opened in Lamini. Not in Lamini, sorry, in Mdeni. And the imam there is a local guy from the area. Even in the meeting yesterday, in terms of our qualitative growth now, there were people who were complaining that you send us to Duru looms, we get qualifications, but we have no jobs as imams and whatever because we don't have sufficient centers. So part of the programs we want to run at the masjid there is to ensure this qualitative growth. We had in the past Hafiz Adam running a Hifz school there. So we want to bring it back. The facility is big enough. We want to have different classes for different programs. We want people who revert into Islam to be taught what Islam is, to be taught what expectations we have of them in terms of their contributions and all of those things. Because in the past, we realized if we do not socialize people into Islam, we just make them read the Shahada and come and read their 5 daily Salah. There are other people who begin to influence them on other things that are foreign to Islam. and telling them that is Islam. So we want to now take control and take charge of those are some of the programs that we want to build so that we have quality Muslims within our communities.
Tabit, what you're sharing with me this morning is a bit disconcerting for me, because we do know that Islam, there's a big Muslim community in South Africa. What concerns me is that there are masajids in townships, and yet it seems as if there's some sort of a break either in communication, or other Muslim communities are not doing enough to make sure that the quality of the Muslim teaching that happens in townships is of a top quality. And if we don't do this, if we don't ensure the support of the Muslims in townships, we're going to lose those Muslims, or we're going to have a very watered down version of what Islam is in the eyes of Muslims in the townships. How can we prevent that from happening? Because on the one hand, you're saying there are a lot of funders that want to get involved, but you don't want the funders to dictate terms to you. What is the middle ground there? Because those funders from outside can support the possibly the true Islam to revert Muslims in the area.
Okay. I think we need to separate the two issues. In terms of people who are knowledgeable with Islam in our townships, we have immense great scholars. I mean, our Amir addresses international conferences. In the past few months, he was addressing an international conference in Dubai. So we have eminent scholars within ourselves. So that is not an issue. The issue, though, is the dissemination of information to the new reverts and those who are willing to study Islam further to ensure that we make it possible for them to do that. So that's the first part. The second part is that we are one ummah and we need to work together. But as a community, we have acknowledged that we have been very weak, and as a result, we have not been treated as equals on the table of brotherhood. And for us to be able to be treated as brotherhood, I mean, as equals on the table of brotherhood, we need to uplift ourselves as a community. And that's why we are organizing ourselves now. Now, you can't come with money and dictate to us in terms of what to do on what not to do, as if we are imbeciles, we can't think for ourselves. That we will not accept. It has been happening and we have been rejecting it. We seriously are not going to allow people to tell us what to do. We welcome whatever idea. You would know probably about the Black Muslim Conference that we organized. And in that Black Muslim Conference, we had people from different cultural backgrounds, races, attending that meeting to share ideas with us, because that's what we want. We believe we are one ummah. But one thing we will not accept is to be treated as though we're children, we can't think, or we don't know what Islam is. And there are people who have that infantile disorder, who always talk down upon us as if we can't think. We really are not going to accept. Those days are over.
I'm sorry that you had those experiences. I can reassure you that the majority of Muslims outside of the townships have all Muslims' best interests at heart. And you would get, the odd person who believes that if he or she does, make a contribution or is trying to uplift the situation of township masajids, that they probably have the permission to dictate terms, or to suggest, maybe dictate is a very harsh word, but to suggest viable solutions. Sometimes we get lost in all the talking, and miscommunication can so easily happen. And depending from where we come from, our emotional state at that present moment, we can misread situations. So, as good Muslims, let us hold each other's hands and try and understand each other and help each other through this. Undoubtedly, with du'as, with an open mind, with understanding, we will and we can get there. I'm going to change track a little bit on this conversation because I see you are showing your solidarity to the people of Palestine by the scarf that you are wearing around your neck this morning. Your thoughts regarding the current situation playing out in that part of the world, and also when we look at the South African situation, there are a lot of Black people, African people, and white people that I don't think is knowledgeable enough about the situation, resulting in them condemning the Palestinian people. I don't think they realize that the Palestinian people are the rightful owners. That is their ancestral land. And we know how people feel so deeply about their ancestral lands. I mean, just look at the African people in South Africa, for example, how dear the issue of land is to you. It's about your ancestry. It's about your people buried on the land. It just goes so much deeper. So your thoughts?
What baffles me, it's Black people in South Africa who support Israel. And here I talk as a person who involved himself back in the days in the struggle to change our country. And at the time, we knew that even though we used arms to fight for freedom, it was a fight to end injustice. The violence we were deploying in the struggle was not an end in itself, but it was a means to an end. And that's why we fully understand, appreciate, and actually congratulate Hamas for their victories, which they scored on the 7th of October, because we understand that they are not violent people by nature, but they are fighting an occupation. You can't live in submission under a brutal occupation. And what it has now shown is that this occupation is using this instance to fully annihilate not Muslims, but Palestinians from their land. And it can't be allowed. We support the Palestinian people. We support the resistance to the hilt, and we will not quiver in that. This genocide must come to an end. I must say, internationally, we have seen people on the ground supporting the Palestinian resistance. But our Muslim leaders throughout the world, in these powerful countries like Saudi Arabia and other countries, I must say they have seriously disappointed some of us in terms of how they are responding to this issue.
Of course, the bottom line is money, is it not? It's about power, control, and money, and whom they are, whom they form alliances with. So that's a very, very sad indictment of us as Muslims. I'm glad to hear about your views on the situation in Palestine, your support for the Palestinian people, and undoubtedly, most Muslims do hold, or all Muslims do hold the same view in South Africa, that is. What are you and the community, the Muslim community and leaders in Soweto doing to conscientize people about this war, this genocide playing out in Palestine? Do you take these discussions to the members?
Yes, we do take these discussions to the members in public platforms where we have engagements. We do not shy away from speaking on these issues on social media and wherever. We do engage as extensively as possible on this issue here with two intentions. One, to clarify the matter so that people understand the genesis of this conflict, but also to expose the falsehood that has been spread by the Yahud throughout social media and everywhere, in terms of them trying to look good. But I can tell you now, with everything that they have tried, with all the lies that they have tried, it always comes back to bite them, because you cannot sustain lies. It just doesn't happen. The truth always prevails. So we also seek to tell the truth. But the important issue that you are raising, if national leaders of countries can sell their souls for money. It is a very important lesson, even for us as Muslims in South Africa and in Soweto, that whoever wants to fund us should not fund us at the expense of our souls. Let's sit down, let's agree what is it that we want, and you then tell us how you can assist and fit into our programs, not the other way around where you come with money and programs and everything and we must follow, because that's the result of what's happening in Palestinians. They are all alone. It's only the Houthis in Yemen who have shown, and what's this in Lebanon?
Hezbollah.
Sorry, Hezbollah, who have now actively involved themselves in this conflict, but everybody else is paying lip service to the Palestinian issue.
Brother Thabit Maisela, Jazakallah for talking with us this morning. Sharing your thoughts and your views regarding township Muslims, how you feel about offers of help that comes in from the outside, but it comes with conditions. And all you saying and asking is treat us with respect and dignity, and don't offer us finances or support with conditions attached. And we hear you. We respect you for your views. You're saying it like it is. Shukran also for conscientizing Black Muslims and Black people in the township regarding the plight of the Palestinian people, and keep the flag of Islam really flying as high as you possibly can in the townships. We salute you. Keep us in your du'as, and salamu alaikum to you.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Keep us in your du'as also, inshallah.
Ameen. Ameen. Thumma ameen. That was Secretary of the Soweto Muslim Shura, Thabit Maisela.